Hello, I'm Shirley, and in today's video, as you can see, we're back out in the countryside or in the park, and today we're talking the importance of self-care when you're at midlife and especially at over 50. And self-care is really important for our physical health, emotional well-being and overall general well-being. And today I'll also be sharing how I'm nurturing my body and soul, which are lessons I've learned from starting over. Because seeing how others honour their needs reminded me that it's time to fully honour mine too. Having lived solo for near on 3 years has given me time to reflect on why I've got to where I am today, living alone at 57, and it's made me realise and learn about self-worth and self-confidence and independence. Like a lot of us in our 50s or at midlife, the feelings of a lack of self-worth really traces back to when we were children. I grew up thinking my value came from doing right by everyone else. But I'm done people pleasing, and I'm at a stage in my life where I think, you know what, it's my time to put myself first, and maybe you can relate to that. You've done so many things to make other people happy and you think you're doing right by them, but in reality, when it comes to you needing the help, or maybe you're expecting the same kindness back, that you don't really get that from other people. I used to believe that I didn't deserve the life I truly wanted, but learning to value my well-being, my time and my peace has changed everything. That's what authentic self-care means to me now, reclaiming the right to shape my life with intention. Many of us grew up putting everyone else's needs first. Careers, partners, children, parents. Always giving, but rarely refilling. Then one day we look in the mirror and realise how far we've drifted from our own needs. Our body feels depleted, our mind overstimulated, and our spirit quietly aching for meaning. Deep down, we know something's missing. The pull to reconnect with what truly makes us happy and fulfilled. But we've ignored it for years because we were busy keeping everyone else happy. We thought that constant giving was kindness, when in truth, lasting wellness starts with giving to ourselves too. Social media often sells self-care as bubble baths, spa days, or glossy shopping trips. The kind of comfort that fades once the screen turns off. But at this stage in life, I've realised that self-care goes beyond those surface level treats. It's about how we nourish our bodies, calm our minds, and strengthen our spirit every day. It's making a meal that balances your hormones and supports your energy. It's stepping away from the scroll when comparison starts to bite. It's the quiet practices, journaling, deep breathing, choosing peace that reminds us we're still growing and still worthy. I'm not a psychologist or a doctor, just someone who's learned through experience that caring for myself in midlife means tending to every layer: physical, emotional, mental and spiritual, with presence and kindness. Research shows that midlife is a turning point, physically, emotionally and hormonally. Our stress hormones shift, Our nutrient needs change, and our brains crave both rest and renewal. Supporting ourselves through food, movement, and mindfulness isn't indulgent, it's essential. Balanced blood sugar, hydration, exercise, and meaningful connection all help our nervous system to find calm again. If you are building your version of self-care, start small but stay consistent, because small steady steps are what rebuild your energy and your confidence over time. Think of it as like laying a brick of self-care day to day and building over time, so that feeling of self-care or the actions of self-care becomes natural instead of feeling like hard effort. Eating well in midlife doesn't have to be complicated or costly. All you have to do is prioritize whole foods that really nourish your energy and your body. I know that it's really easy to go for convenience foods because they're quick fixes and they satisfy your hunger, but they really do not nourish you, and they will leave you feeling even more tired a couple of hours later. And for me, it can leave me feeling brain foggy and fatigue and have no motivation to do anything. I've found that food has a natural hormone support, and I know that may not be the same for everyone, but you may find whole foods help restore your balance at midlife. I fill my plate with colourful vegetables, quality protein, and healthy fats. Not because I never crave convenience, but because these choices support my emotional balance and prevent the spiral of overthinking or fatigue that can so easily creep in during this stage in life. During the summer, I thought that constantly creating and uploading videos meant that I was being productive. But in the end, I realised that it was actually having the opposite effect. Sitting in front of my laptop meant that I'd started gaining even more weight. I became disconnected from my body, and being in the same room day in and day out just made me restless and anxious for the future. Getting outside, stretching, and moving again reminded me how physical activity grounds my mind and releases the tension that quiet routines alone can't. At the beginning of summer, I stopped going to the gym, namely because it got so expensive. But the one thing it did make me realise is that getting fit and healthy doesn't have to have a price tag. And as you've seen, that I go walking and I skip. To be honest, that's quite difficult to do now because of the weather and being outside. And I've also gone to get my weight from the gym, although admittedly that's still even hard to go and pick up my weight that's on my bedroom floor. These are simple habits that keep my circulation strong, my joints supple, and my energy steady. Staying active in midlife is about more than appearance. It supports bone density, hormone balance, and sleep quality. Even 10 minutes daily movement can reset your hormones and boost vitality. Apart from what I share on this channel, I don't really have anyone to talk to about what I'm going through. And I know that for some people that can seem unhealthy. But what I've learned from starting over is that people will listen, but they tend to give advice from their lens and their opinions. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right advice for me. And more often than not, I've come to realise that the reason that I am where I am now is because in the past, instead of trusting my judgment about what's right for me, I'm trusting what other people are saying I should do. And I can tell you now that this is why I am in the doo-doo, or sort of doo-doo, that I'm in now. So instead of talking to other people, I journal. And journaling isn't a diary where you list the things that you've done in the day or in the week. It's more to do with facing yourself and the reality of what you're going through, how you're feeling, why you got there, and what you can do about it. And this can be really, really tough to accept things about yourself, those deep, dark thoughts that you don't tell other people. And I just reflect on it. And a lot of the time, clarity comes along, and I tend to get the advice or guidance that is right for me to take action on, and not what's right for other people.
Facing your emotions isn't easy, so always reach out for professional help if you need support.
Now, I know that a lot of people will find this topic a little bit woo-woo, and at the beginning I have to agree with you. But I know that we all have different faiths and we all have different beliefs. But for me, I believe that there is something greater than us. And I have to believe that, because I just think, for goodness sake, with everything that I've gone through in life, there's got to be something greater than me that I can believe in, that will help me make my life better. And let me know what you think. Do you feel that there's something greater than ourselves that can help us make our lives better?
I read from scripture, practice gratitude, and draw inspiration from teachers like Science of Mind, Dipenza, Abraham Hicks, and Neville Goddard. Their wisdom reminds me, as Wayne Dyer said, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. When my mind is filled with fear and doubt, everything contracts. But when I focus on appreciation, calm, and possibility, life starts to open up again, gently but powerfully.
So these are my stress recovery routines and my way of building resilience as I'm rebuilding my life after starting over.
I'll admit that it's so easy to get swept up in what's happening around the world right now. The constant stream of news and opinions can pull me into a negative spiral before I even notice. And that need to stay informed quickly becomes hours of doom scrolling, leaving my mind heavy and my energy low.
These days I have to consciously redirect my focus on things that nourishes me, like my creative work and the small meaningful things that I can control.
When I limit my screen time and replace the scroll with something uplifting, or go outside for a walk and some fresh air, my mind feels clearer and my mood is lighter. The truth is, mental self-care in midlife is about protecting our space, setting gentle boundaries with what drains us, and choosing what strengthens us instead. And share below, what part of self-care are you ready to embrace next?